this. It's a unique opportunity to talk to European football coaches, and I'm just honored. I appreciate you, Coach, for setting this up. You're doing awesome work, and I'm just looking forward to talking about effectively coaching running backs. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on my iPad, and like I told Coach beforehand, if you guys have questions, there's absolutely no time better than the present to make sure that y'all ask those questions after we go through or as we're going through. Because like I said, I'm doing this presentation on my iPad that I have the screen shared, so I'll be able to even draw some stuff up, if there's any questions. So, again, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the house call culture. Okay, again, I don't know how many people follow me on Twitter, but I'm really big on creating a culture or an identity within my running backs, within my position group. On a team, you have so many different units or positions. I get to coach all the running backs from ninth grade to 12th grade. So I get a chance to really try and ingrain in them, how we do stuff. So, we branded it. We said it's a hashtag house call. Every time we get a break, house call on 3, 1, 2, 3, house call. Just talking about, one of the things, every time we touch the ball, we feel like we can score. So just a little bit, kind of the stuff that goes into that, we do everything. Okay. We're running backs that do every single thing. We're going to block, we're going to catch the ball out the backfield. We're going to run the ball well, obviously. So that's something that we take great pride in. And I don't know why this ain't working right now, but it's something that we take great pride in. So, something that we're always going to talk about is no block, no PT. If you're not willing to block and sell out for your teammates, that's just selfish and you can't see the field. That doesn't take any talent. It just takes effort. A little bit of technique, a little bit of effort, and you're going to be able to see the field. You're going to be able to get on there. Family, that comes from the acronym Forget About Me, I Love You. Just trying to, again, sell that selflessness. Running backs, it's such a position that's based off, touching the ball, scoring, statistics. I want them to kind of get away from those. Statistics are nice. Statistics will do good things for you. But your stats aren't going to show your whole contribution to the game. Running backs do so much more than just contribute through carrying the football. I don't understand. I don't know the offenses that I don't know exactly how the game is over there. But, for the most part, we're going to ask our running backs to block, and that's going to be a big thing. Again, every time we touch the ball, we can score. That's just instilling a little confidence within your guys. It's just installing a little bit of confidence with your guys, as you're going through. Just having a little bit of confidence, because you got to have some confidence when you're carrying the football. You got to trust your gut and trust your instincts. And then, again, reward big plays without the football. We're going to do a lot of stuff to try and celebrate our guys just blocking and being selfless. I do it. We bring our guys up for film and in a workout on Saturdays. If we have a great night blocking, right after the game, I'm going to tell them, hey, guys, don't worry about breakfast. I got y'all. And I'll just bring in donuts. I don't do it for the guys that have 4 touchdowns. That's great. That's phenomenal. But I'm going to do it for the guys that are selfless and block and that don't get that recognition. Just in the same way how I feel, running backs and running back coaches, we need to try and reward the offensive line for what they do. Because, they're never going to get credit. They're never going to get any credit. They're going to get the blame, but they're never going to get any credit. So we want to reward those plays. And, again, spend time with your guys outside of football. Don't always be talking about football, guys. Coaching, it's so much more than that. It's, it's pouring into people. It's trying to make them better men and women. It's coaching just one of the great things that you could really transform somebody's life just by taking an interest. So, again, that's just a little bit about house call culture. So we're going to talk a little bit about the fundamental 4. Okay, the fundamental 4, when we're about to run the football, what are the things that go into being a great running back? What things make a great running back? So, we're going to talk about eyes. Okay, so, again, pre-snap, post-snap, and aiming point. We're going to talk about that as I get into how I teach and coach the inside zone. But, again, their eyes got to be right. Okay, we got to look and assess the front that we have, make sure that everything lines up. If we're running inside zone to a 3, how does that affect it differently than when we're running it to an inside shade of the guard? How does our aiming point change? How should the play break down different? How do we anticipate it a little bit differently? Footwork, those are all steps. Our steps to get the ball. Some people like to J-step, and keep their shoulders square. Some people like to cross the quarterback's face. Whatever it is, find what's comfortable for each kid individually, and then you're able to do that, and that's just how it is. We got to, it's just whatever your kids are comfortable with, trying to get them to do that. Patience, Cloudy and Clear. I talk to them, as they're coming up and they're pressing their point, they're really getting to the point where they're about to have to make a decision. I just tell them simply, you got to find the clear area. Cloudy, there's a whole bunch of bodies, there's a whole bunch of people on that offensive line. There's a whole bunch of people on that defensive line and linebackers trying to fill it. Okay, if it's Cloudy, obviously you don't want to go there. Find that clear point. And again, I tell them you're going to press until that Cloudy or clear decision point happens. Okay, so again, that's something that we're going to be big on. I'm going to talk to them about the Cloudy or clear decision point. And again, the last thing is finish. We got to finish every single run. We got to really make sure that we stick our foot in the ground and we go. Guys, it's really big with your running backs that you discourage. If they haven't crossed the line of scrimmage, that they get one cut. Sorry about that. They get one cut until that happens. They get one cut. But what happens is a lot of those guys, they're back there, they're trying to make stuff happen, and they're dancing in the backfield. So they're dancing in the backfield. So nothing good is happening except a tackle for a loss. So we're going to be big on that as well. Okay, so again, what goes all into, coaching some of that stuff? So you got to really, as a coach, you got to really ingrain in your kids or your athletes, how this happens. Okay, so again, I'm going to do football 101 with them. Okay, we're going to do football 101. We're going to talk about the defensive fronts and just how the defense is trying to take you out of the ball game. Okay, we're going to talk about a blocking scheme, a zone scheme versus a gap scheme, how those things are different and how it affects your running style. And then again, the purpose of each play, that goes into the blocking scheme. Where do you want this ball to hit based off, what we're getting, what the blocking scheme is, where should this ball hit, and how do we want to, approach it? Where's the unblocked guy, all that stuff, So just as we go through that, it's just going to take a little bit of time with your guys. But, talking from, coach, there's a lot of stuff and a lot of time that y'all have to prepare that. You have a lot of time to kind of talk with your guys and teach them just how to be better football players. And I don't know, maybe sometimes you got two-way players who got to play offense and defense. That's fine. Some of this stuff that you're able to do, you'll be able to break down and make it simple for your guys, so they don't have to see a whole bunch or talk to or think too much as they're trying to go run that football. Okay, so again, anticipation. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we try to anticipate how we run our inside zone. Okay, so just right here, I'm going to teach them the four basic fronts. I'm going to teach them the four basic fronts. And again, I want to draw on this, y'all. I'm trying to make sure I can get it and it loads. So I'm going to try and teach them the four defensive fronts, the four main defensive fronts that they are going to see. Okay, so again, so we got this top left box. Okay, again, that's a 4-2 box. We got our 4 down linemen and we got our two linebackers. Okay, and that's an over front. So we're running, I got it drawn up right here where we're running to a 3 technique, outside shade of the guard. Okay, and I'm going to tell y'all why that's important here in a second as well. The box on the right, that's a 4-2 box, but now we're running inside zone to a shade. Okay, an inside shade of the guard. So it's going to change a little bit about how we anticipate and how we're looking pre-snap and thinking. It's going to kind of change our aiming point as well, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Okay, and then again, we're going to look at a 32 box, a 3-2 box, 3 down linemen and 2 linebackers. Okay, again, our aiming point changes depending on what front that you have that you're going up against, and again, how it's going to influence our blocking scheme and the play. It's going to alter that, all of it. And then again, a 33 box, you got 3 down linemen, 3 backers. And again, a lot of people doing that tight stuff, you may have an extra safety up there. So again, I'm going to talk to my guys, if we're doing this and we're running to this 3 in the top left, we're running to this 3 technique right here. Okay. Normally it lets me write on this, but okay. So normally we're running to this 3 tech. So again, let me draw. We're running to this 3 technique right here. So I got my center, guard, or tackle, guard, tackle, quarterback, running back. Okay, and then again, I got my end, my tackle, my end, and then I got my backers. Okay, so we know we're running inside zone this way. My aiming point for this run is the inside leg of this guard right here. Okay. And we know, and I talk to my kids about the blocking scheme. Okay. If there's a 3 right here, we're going to be base block, and we got a combo right here. Okay. We don't have anybody. We're not able to double team this 3 just because of where he's lined. Okay. And then we're going to be unblocked right here. We're going to leave this guy and we're going to read him. Okay. So we know now that looking at this base block, this guy's going to step inside and try and hook him. So now as your running backs, their read again is this guy. Their read is the defensive tackle. So if they don't do any pre-snap movement and he plays beat this gap, we know this is probably going to stay and hit this front side A gap. Get them to anticipate a little bit. Make sure you're talking to your guys about scheme and, how stuff is being blocked up. If he starts here, we got our eyes on him as a running back as we're starting to get the football and he crosses face right here. Well, now we know this gap is going to be open, and that's where our clear point should be. Okay, so no matter what you do, you have an answer to showing because of who you read and how you run the play. So again, now let's say, for instance, now he's in a 1. Okay, and we're running it to the 1 technique right here. Okay, they've shifted over to that under front. And again, talking to your guys, how does it change the blocking scheme? Okay, blocking scheme now we got a little bit better matchup. Okay, because we got the inside leg of the guard that we're running to. This is our read. He's our play side defensive tackle. So he runs, if he stays in his gap, if they play where it's just a base front, he's going to line up in the gap and he's going to play that A gap. Well, now our path is going to be a little bit wider, and we actually have a double team on him to this backer. So now we're going to double team there. We got a double team play side, and we got a double team backside. So now you can talk to your guys that realistically is probably going to be to that front side B gap where this hits based on that double team. But we got two double teams at the point of attack that are really good to create some movement where you may get 4 or 5 yards just based off this alignment when everything's blocked right. And again, I'm going to walk them through all of this. I'm going to tell them what's a 3 tech, what's a 3 technique, where do they line up on the guard, what's a 1 technique, where do they line up on the guard. All that stuff I'm going to remind them because I want to teach them. I want to make them smart football players so that way when they get on the field and we rep this and we watch film, they know exactly what's going to happen before it even happens. They get to anticipate. That's a big thing for the running backs that I'm stressing to them is anticipation every single time. Okay, so again, if we go back here, we look right here. So those are the top 2 boxes that we talked about. Okay, we're running inside zone to an outside shade of the guard to an inside shade of the guard. Well, now we got these fronts down here, okay, these 3-man fronts. Personally, I love running versus 3-man defenses. I feel like we got a numbers advantage, and even if people blitz a lot, which they tend to do out of those 3-man fronts, I still feel like we pick it up, we got bigger plays. Okay, so now let's say we got 3-man front. Okay, we got a 32 box, 3 D linemen, 2 linebackers. Okay, now this is where our aiming point changes. Now there's no play side defensive tackle to read. There's no play side defensive tackle. Okay, our aiming point stays the same on the inside leg of the guard. That doesn't change. But now our read in a 3-man front is now this nose. Okay, this nose, he's going to tell us everything we got to know about where this should hit. Again, against a 3-man front, we got really good numbers. We can base, we could scoop to this guy. We could double team. We got our double team on the nose, scooping to the backside will. And again, we got our double team on the will too. So now a lot of teams in 3-man fronts, they like to move this guy. Okay, if he ends up going this way, this direction, as we get in our aiming point, now it might be cut back. Okay, and we rep this drill, and I'll get to that as long as we got time. Okay, let's say that this nose slants opposite and he slants into the scoop. Well, now we know we got, as we go, we should have a great running lane to the front side of this play. Okay, either front side A if he slants away, or backside A if he slants to the play side. So again, teach your guys this. You know, it goes a long way. Even if you ain't got a running back that's a real fast guy, you know, you'll still be able to utilize his strengths because he can look and see and anticipate what's going to happen and still get you 4 to 5 yards. So that's something that's really big with me that I teach all my running backs. Today I got a meeting at 2 o'clock my time with all my running backs. Last time we talked about inside zone. This week we're talking about power and how our aiming points and stuff change. Okay, so now let's say they're in a 33 box. Okay, so now we got right here, still got our double teams. We're great to this backer. Still got our double team here. We got our scoop to this backer. And this guy comes right here. We still got our all of our double teams. We still got our read. It doesn't change. We still got our aiming point inside leg of the guard. Now we're in great shape because now all we got to do again is read the movement of this nose. If he goes here, we could go backside. If he goes to the backside, then shoot, we're hitting front side for a big play. We got really good angles. So again, just coaching your guys on the little nuances of football will go a long way in the effectiveness of your running back room, of your running back position. It'll go a long way. Like I said, I've done this with two-way players before as well that had to learn offense and defense at the same time. It almost was more effective because those guys now have the experience of seeing exactly what that the defense is going to be doing. Okay, now let's say hypothetically, let's say we get a 5 down lineman front. Okay, so they got nose tackle, Mike, Will, and we'll see this from time to time against teams that really want to sell out against the run. Well, now keep it easy on your guys. Now there's no double team. So now you got one-on-one with this backer. You're reading the play side defensive tackle, just like we talked about. Your aiming point stays the same. Now, again, if he goes here, we get the block. Now we're able to hit it up here. He goes this way. Now we're able to keep it wide, and we should have one-on-one with that guy. So, again, just being able to coach your guys up. And, again, even if you're not a running backs coach, even if you're a quarterbacks coach and you guys run a lot with the quarterback, there's a lot of stuff you can do to increase and improve, you know, how your ball carriers run the football. Don't just tell them. I'm never a big fan of, you know, I'm going to tell them the point of the play and where this should hit according to most thoughts and philosophies of the play. But I'm also going to tell them that they got to trust their gut and trust their reads, what they're seeing. All right, so again, I just got it drawn up here. You know, we got that double team, play side defensive tackle to play side linebacker against a 4 down front. You know, against the 3 down defense, we're reading the nose to the play side linebacker. So again, I'm even reiterating to my guys, you know, again, you got to teach your running backs the blocking scheme. They got to know it. Okay. Again, get them to anticipate, where should this ball hit? Where should this ball hit? Okay. Finding your double teams is a big one. You find your double team, you're probably going to be very successful as a running back, because if you hug that double team and your double team is worth anything, you're going to get the 3 to 4 to 5 yards. And then again, anticipation, knowing your enemy, seeing what they do, and you're able to counteract that. You know, if they move a lot, then you're able to know that they're going to move, and you're able to anticipate that a little bit. Okay, coaching power. Okay, I don't know why this is a little off. Okay, this is not going on perfect. Here, I'm going to get off this. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why technology is not working with me today. Very much apologize. Okay, I'm going to share it from this screen. Okay. So again, I apologize. I'll share it from here. Work a little bit better. Okay, so now power. Okay, again, power is a gap scheme, and it's real simple coaching points for power as opposed to anything else. Okay, because again, I'm really big on trying to simplify the game for our running backs. Okay, so again, obviously front side back, he's going to have the kick out. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 and out into the line to make sure we get that inside shoulder, the defensive end. This guy, he can actually turn his shoulders a little bit more as opposed to our inside zone because now we don't have multiple options. Our only option now is to find our puller, find his hip, and cut off his butt. Wherever his butt is probably where you should be running because that's where, they're blocking the defender the opposite way. They're taking the linebacker to their left, so their back is now turned to the gap, and now that's where your clear point is going to be, basically. Okay, again, I did it against a 4-man front with 2 linebackers and a 4-man front against 3 backers. Okay, so again, drills and skills. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about, my weekly schedule, how I break everything down. Again, I don't want to just coach the running back position. I want to effectively coach it. I want to do my best in being efficient. So my pre-practice drills, I'm going to get 10 to 15 minutes each day. We're going to get out there early. We're going to work on our cuts. We got 3 different types of cuts. We're going to do our second level blocking. We're going to do our get fit drill where we're blocking and we're going to drive our feet. And then we're going to banana block, and that's for our power. That's what I call our 1, 2, 3 into the line and out. That's our banana block. Okay, again, Monday we're going to work all ball skills. Okay, this is based off of, us playing a game on Friday night, Thursday being our walkthrough day. And again, like I was talking to Coach, you guys have a different schedule where you may be able to practice twice a week, and then you may be working out the other 3 days a week. Try and figure out a way to effectively mix. Maybe you do your Tuesday and your Wednesday that I got here. Maybe you do your run blocking and your pass blocking together that day. So if you got 2 days, I'm going to do my ball security. I'm going to do my ball skills where I'm catching and I'm learning how to run with the football a little bit more efficiently versus my other day, which will be all blocking. It'll be run blocking. It'll be pass blocking. The pre-practice drills, again, they're going to be done every single day. I want to make sure that they're doing this effectively, making sure that we're working all of this. Our blocking, we're going to do 2 to 3 blocking drills a day, pre-practice no matter what. We're going to do our cuts and all that stuff. And, again, I wanted to do this because, again, it's a weekly menu of drills that you could change as you want. So let's say on last game we didn't do a great job catching the football. So when we get there Monday, I may cut away some of this short yardage or the running the football, and I may, start doing some catching drills with them. Okay. The other thing is I'm always going to be big on ball security. If you don't turn the ball over, you got a really great chance to win that football game. Okay. All too often running backs, they're trying to do this great stuff to get a highlight reel. They're carrying the ball low, but they're trying to do spins. I'm not big on that. I want them to always be protecting the football. If you can make a move while protecting the football, you're not going to turn it over. You just got to learn how to. You got to teach your guys how to run the right way with the football being high and tight, 3 points of pressure, and an eagle claw over the top. And I think that really worked out for us. In 12 games, we had 16 weeks of football, 12 games. We only had 2 fumbles, and one of them was in practice too. So we really stressed it, and you get what you emphasize. Okay, we emphasized ball security. They did a great job protecting the football. I couldn't get mad at them. Okay, so again, here's just some diagrams of our pre-practice drills. So if you look on the far left, okay, we're going to work 3 different types of cuts. And if you have a question, I could send you a cut up of, what these different cuts look like. A speed cut is just, you're playing off your outside foot, not losing any speed.
Coach, can I interrupt you a little bit? We've got one question. Should I call the question now or later?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We've got one coach asking how long is your practice, and how many time do you have for individuals?
So individual, our offensive coordinator, he's really big on group. So, we don't have a bunch of time for individual, and that's why I make the menu so I can figure out exactly how I need to break up or how much time I'm going to have to do this. I may have 5 to 15 minutes, on a daily basis. There will be some days where we don't have any individual. So I'll say my answer really is going to be 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes. But again, we still a lot of time with that pre-practice stuff. Like this pre-practice is the best thing that I do because I'm able to add time before the practice even starts. And, we kind of even use this to kind of warm the running backs up. Some of this stuff we'll do half speed just to get warmed up. And once they get loose, then we're able to do a full speed. Practice, we really have 3 – we play on Fridays. So we have 3 practices within a week. Our Mondays will be in helmets and shorts. That'll be our learning day, talking about the game plan. Tuesday and Wednesday are full padded practices. Thursday is a walkthrough where we just make sure everybody's good on everything that we do in shorts and helmets. No contact, just walking through everything. And then Friday we play our games.
Awesome. Great, Coach.
Okay. Like I said, hopefully if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to stop because, I don't want to continue on and just, have somebody get lost in the presentation. I'm a real energetic guy. I love talking football. I talk fast sometimes. So you just let me know and I'll stop and kind of go over it. And then we'll have some time where I can answer questions at the end as well. So we got speed, pressure, and jump cuts. If you guys hit me up on Twitter or whatever, I could send you, I didn't have a chance to film my own stuff, so I found these online so that way I could answer people's questions. So, again, I'm going to work like I'm the read for our inside zone right here. So I'm the coach right here. They're going to press. I'm going to have either a quarterback or another running back hand off the ball, and our running backs now have to take their steps and keep their eyes on me, who is the read. So now I'm going to step one way or the other. Whatever way I step, that's now the cloudy area. They want to find the clear area. And these triangles are just cones that I set up. But they get practice taking their steps, not looking down at their own feet. They're looking right at the read. And I'm going to wait until they're about 3 feet away from me before I move. So now they're training their eyes and their feet to work together where they're seeing these quick reactions. And now they're able to capitalize on these opportunities. And then so once they do that, if I step to my right, they're going to go to their right, and they're going to do that cut, and then they're going to finish with a 10-yard burst. Please, as you coach your running backs, make sure that they're finishing with a 10-yard burst and protecting that ball high and tight at all times. I don't care if they're walking back to the line after already going through a speed cut. They better have that ball high and tight because, again, you get what you emphasize. If you talk to your guys constantly about protecting the football, keeping the ball high and tight, they will. I promise you it'll work out great for you. Your team will have far less fumbles and turnovers as long as you're emphasizing it. I'm not a big fan of doing drills where, somebody's just punching the ball and you're just standing there. That's not realistic. And sometimes I'll even put other running backs or coaches at these cones to hit the ball as they're making these cuts. So, again, I'm going to do that. Then I'll go to my tight feet and switch arms. I'll have, 6 cones. And my big thing is I want them to keep nice tight feet, eyes up, going through the cones every time they cross a cone. So let's say the ball's in my right arm. Every time they're doing short, choppy feet going around, when they cross a cone, they need to cover and pull. I want them to switch arms. I want them to get used to switching arms, switching the ball and different arms, a whole bunch. That's a great skill that, not a lot of running backs, take time to develop. And it really is a skill that you have to develop because I've seen so many times on clips of football, people will they'll be running, they'll be trying to switch arms in the open field and the ball would just fall out because they didn't cover, put pressure on it, and pull underneath. They didn't work it. And then, again, you got a 10-yard burst. So let's say you're short on time. This is a great pre-practice drill because you could have 6, 7 guys going at the same time. You could have them tell them to start when they get to the third cone, finish, and then come back. So now you got 6 or 7 people going at one time. And, again, they're working good footwork. They're working protecting the football. They're working having their eyes up while protecting the football. So it's just stuff like that you're able to get a lot of reps in, in a quick amount of time. Again, this is second level and banana block drill. So what I'll do is I'll either have bags or people standing here. Linebacker, inside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end. And then I got 2 running backs on the opposite side of the cone. So now these guys have to block. I'm going to call out a play. They know where that play who they should be blocking. The guys aren't raising their hands. So if they got a banana block like it's power, I'll just call out power. And they know that they're the blocking back. There's nobody getting a ball. So they're going to step up and kick out this end. 1, 2, 3, into the line and out. Inside shoulder to the end. Okay, there may be plays where they got to lead up on this backer right here. I'll call it out. Now they know they got to take their steps, keep their eyes up. And I want these linebackers to move a little bit like it's a real game. Everybody's going to be moving when I say set, go. And then again, there may be an outside play where he's got to hook this outside linebacker's outside shoulder, and they're going to rep that as well. So it's helping them, again, blocking techniques, knowing the plays that you're running. Again, if you're limited on time, this is a great way. You got 2 guys working the playbook at once. So, again, it's really great for them to kind of work through these. And, sometimes they'll become good enough where they can run this by themselves. Okay, so Monday, this is our ball skills day. So we're going to run all the stuff how we're going to catch the football right here. Okay, they're going to catch the football. They're going to catch the football on every route that we run, at least once or twice, depending on how much time we have. Okay, then we have Auburn drill. They're going to start on the sideline or wherever you're at with the ball in the left hand. They're going to take a couple steps, plant with a slight elbow bend into the ground and kind of lean over as they're holding themselves up. So as they're holding themselves up, now they have to stand back up, switch arms, cover, pull, now put the other hand down. So they're working, again, switching hands with the football, and they're working on keeping their balance because there are times where running backs lose yards or don't get a big play because they get tripped up. They're not able to brace themselves, stay athletic enough, keep their balance, and keep moving forward. I want them to train that skill as well. See the tuck drill. This is just where it's basically playing catch, but it's purposeful catch. So I have 2 running backs line up across from each other. They're going to start by moving their arms like they're running. Then the other person throws them the ball, catch, see the tuck. I want them to see the tuck because, again, I'm all about ball security. Running, arms. They're not moving their legs. They're just moving their arms. Okay, and then sometimes I'll have them face the opposite or sideways. So now they've got to look over their shoulder, and they're working different angles. Maybe it's a high pass. Maybe it's a low pass. Maybe it's behind. Maybe it's in front. I'm having them work all those different angles for their position. They're going to see a bunch of different passes being a running back out of the backfield. So they're going to see all of those, and they're going to work. And, again, that will work if you're a running backs coach or a wide receivers coach. It's just something that you could really, practice and manufacture that you get really good at. And then, again, short yardage. So I'm going to be right here. They're going to take their steps. I already talked about this part. But now I'll have either 2 bags or 2 people standing up that once they make that cut, they got to crease it and cover the ball in traffic and finish that run. I want them punching through those 2 bags because you may have a 4th and 1 that you absolutely have to get. Or maybe you need 3 yards. Maybe it's a 3rd and 3 that you got to convert. I want them covering that ball and finishing hard through the linebackers, through the defenders. Okay, Tuesday is our run blocking. Okay, so again, this is our mirror to impact, and how I do this is a little bit different as well. So I have my running backs, and I'll tell them, all right, hey, we're going to block the inside linebacker here. I'm going to say set, go. They're going to go. They're going to run up. Then they're going to stop about a foot away from the defender that they're about to block. Okay, and I'm going to critique exactly how they are with their hands, their butt down, their slight knee bend, all that stuff. I'm going to critique it, make sure that it's absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to have it doing to the outside linebacker. Okay, now they got to get the outside shoulder of this linebacker. But I'm going to stop them right before they're about to make contact. I want to make sure that their blocking form, their stance is perfect, athletic position, because if that's not good, then there's no way you're making that block. So again, we're going to go through that. A cut block drill. So they're going to run fast and flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get out, outside leg, dive at the outside leg of the bag. Okay, they're going to cut it and get on the ground, get on their chest, and really sell out. 2, 4, 6, again, they just start on their feet. They're going to strike their hands. They're going to be in a good athletic position. Then you get them on their hands and knees. That's our 4 point. Now we're going to strike on the whistle. Strike, working that strike. Every back needs to learn how to block. This is how we do it. And then 6 point. Now all of a sudden we got, everything on the ground. Hands, toes, knees. Now we're striking. Okay, and then again, our fit drill. Our fit drill, again, is we're going to be paired up. We're going to get fit like we already made contact, and then that guy is going to try and move one way or the other. We got to move our feet and block them whichever way the ball is going to go. Okay, and then pass protection. Pass protection Wednesday, same thing, mirror to impact. I'm going to call out 1 or 2. The running back has to step up, stay out of the quarterback's way, and then again, right as that linebacker is about to get to the running back, we're going to stop it. Okay, I want that running back's position to be good on the balls of their feet, big chest forward, eyes up, ready to see, ready to make that block on that linebacker that's coming full speed. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll let them collide. We'll let them impact. We'll let them practice that part of it. Okay, which linebacker drill? It's the same thing. We got 3 linebackers. I'm going to either call 1, 2, or 3. They're going to send one. The running back has to then step up. It's a full collision, drill. They're going to have to look up, see which one's coming, and then we're going to make sure that we block the right one. Only one's coming at a time. Mirror drill, it's another partner drill where they're facing each other. One running back is the blocker. The other one is the defender. The defender is going to move. The running back in pass protection's job is to keep moving his feet while keeping a good base. Okay, late to cut drill is the same thing where I'm going to call it. It's similar to this which linebacker drill, but now I want my running back to work cutting. And I say late to cut because we don't want to cut too early because then the dude's just going to jump right over us. So we're going to actually set up, settle, like we're going to block the guy up high. Then as he starts to come and we use bags, we're going to cut the bag late with the guy running, kind of to the side like this. We're going to cut the bag late as we're going through so that way we really rep that timing. And again, drive-by drill. This is one where, the game of football is not perfect by any means. Okay, there are going to be times where you get beat, but how you respond after you get beat tells you that, your value as a football player. So this one, I'm going to set up the linebacker where he's already almost gotten fully past the hips of the running back. But I'm going to have them engaged. So as that linebacker and the running back are connected, the running back is at a disadvantage. They got beat, they saw it late, whatever it was. So now they got to keep trying to drive that linebacker from a bad position, turn their hips, and drive him past the quarterback. Okay, we got beat. It wasn't a great spot for us to be in, but we got to try and correct ourselves so that way we protect our quarterback and our teammates, and we're not the hindrance, we're not the hurt to why that play wasn't successful. We're going to try and make it work no matter what. And then again, here's just a little bit of how I coach the running back position. Okay, guys, I'm never a fan of hit the gap. The running back position is it's instinctive position. Okay, I'm going to ask the guys, if they didn't see their puller on power, they didn't find them, I'm going to ask them, and they did something completely wrong. I'm going to say, what did you see? Where were your eyes? Help them train their eyes. It's not – I don't get a lot from just yelling at kids. Okay, I listened to a clinic last night, and it was a great thing. Coaches are teachers. What happens if you're new to a class and you walk in and the teacher is just yelling at everybody? You're probably not going to get much from that class. Talk to them, instruct them, help them understand and see and be able to communicate with you in football language. So again, I'll say, what did you see or why did you run that way? Okay, again, a fumble equals a log roll at practice. It's a pencil roll. Okay, so again, if they fumble in a game, I'm not going to cuss them out. I'm not going to yell at them in the moment. I'm going to tell them, hey, you fumbled because the ball was low. You didn't have your 3 points of pressure. I'm going to coach them. But once we get back to practice, I'm going to say, hey, you hurt the team by fumbling that football. So now you're going to get on your side and roll 50 yards. And guys, the kids are super athletic. Like running really doesn't affect them at this point. These kids are getting super athletic. Running doesn't affect them. But have them roll 50 yards, they're going to get dizzy as heck. They hate it. And that's another thing that helped us cut back on the fumbles. Okay, again, we always preach game reps. Again, make sure when you're in practice, I don't say go full speed because everybody's full speed looks different. Full speed to some guy may be 75%, So I want to tell them game speed. Do what you're going to do in a game. And if you're going to do that speed in a game, you won't be playing. There's no way. Again, you're always fine-tuning, so find little details within your running back position to help coach them and get them better. You know, again, 50% of the running back coaching, maybe even more, maybe natural instincts to running the football. Just don't overcoach it, but you want to be fine-tuning. You know, find a little detail. Say, hey, you know, I think it might be better here if your steps were a little bit different. You know, hey, try this. You know, this is a little bit different for you. But, you know, just find those little, you know, your hand placement with blocking. Your elbows were good, but you were just reaching out. I want you to stay back and make sure that you're striking. Okay, and again, always come up with something new. Like this year, I put in high and tight football. It's a football that's made here. I can't exactly remember where, but it's if you hold it correctly, it beeps and it makes an audible sound. So you have to have it high and tight pressure, and it's beeping, like beep. But the second you release your grip, and it gets loose, it stops beeping. So it gives you automatic feedback whether you're holding the ball correctly or not. So again, just come up with something new. Again, find ways to help your athletes understand, you know, how to do stuff. And again, y'all, this is the last thing. Here's my contact information. Again, I'm the Cedar Hill High School running backs coach. Here's my Twitter, Coach Kelly, CHHS. And again, if you guys prefer your preferred method of contact is email, just go ahead and shoot me an email. Again, I speak 2 languages, English and Spanish. I don't speak German or anything like that. So again, just make sure it's in English, or I'm going to send it to Coach to make sure that he can help me translate. But again, I appreciate y'all. That's it for me.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Again, I really if you guys don't have how often do you make tape? Like film practice? Well, we film every practice. We film it and then we watch it with them. If that's what you're asking, I'm sorry if it's not.
Yeah, Coach, I got one question. You talked about the zone and gap runs. You introduced both to your players on the Football 101. And where's the difference between them from a running back perspective?
So again, like I'll go back here. So again, when we're running zone, again, a zone doesn't have a specific gap that it should go into. So again, that's where you're allowed to give your running backs a little bit of freedom. Look, guys, if what you see forces you to cut back from the play side call, that's perfect. That's exactly what it's designed to do. Zone is designed from a running back's perspective to always make the defense wrong. You know, you don't have to overpower anybody. You know, your running back has a little bit of freedom to not always have to hit. Like if, for example, if we're running power right here and it's power to my offensive right and they go back here where nobody is being blocked really, then we got a big problem. Power will always hit front side. And it should be front side either A or B, depending on where that tackle is. It's most often a B gap play. But in zone, that's where you can talk to your guys. And here, based off this front, is probably going to hit this front side A gap. Against this front, you know, running to the one, it probably is going to hit cut back to A gap. Against this, you know, we got a double team. Against a 3-man front, is probably hitting front side A right now. Because, again, we got a double team coming right here where the center is stepping and sealing them off. And maybe if they got a really good nose guard over the center, you know, this may be even stretched out to front side B. So, you know, when I'm coaching the zone, I'm telling the guys, hey, trust your eyes, trust your read. And, you know, it's going to hit wherever you see that it's going to hit. With the gap schemes, I'm saying you better find your puller, and it's going to hit always front side B. So that's the big difference from the running back perspective is how you coach it and how you explain it to your guys, because they know if they go backside in power because they're trying to pretend like it's zone, they're going to be fired because we don't have all the blockers are on this side. We pulled this guy to come block. So I tell them, reemphasize, the freedom that they have in zone schemes versus gap schemes. That's the big thing that I do. Okay, so I see another one. How do you teach to execute the cut block? Okay, so I'm gonna stand up, guys. I'm a little too energetic, I'm gonna actually kind of walk y'all through this. Hopefully my kids, my house is okay. So again, if I'm the running back, okay, and like let's say the computer screen is the defender. Okay, so I'm gonna get flat, my shoulders are gonna turn, and then I'm gonna come up on this guy that I'm supposed to cut. So now I'm going to aim for the outside shoulder of the defender, the outside part of the defender. And then as I get into my cut on the outside part of the defender, I want to hit – my eyes are always up. I want to hit the thigh. The outside thigh is my aiming point. I want to have my shoulder pad in that thigh. I want to take my inside arm and take it up through his crotch. Okay, because so that way, worst case scenario, you guys play some really good guys. If I'm driving my arm up through the crotch, let's say he tries to jump over me, well, I'm at least tripping with my arm. And then again, I want them to sell out and land on their chest. So right through here, shoulder through the leg, through the thigh, arm up through the crotch as I'm selling out and landing on my chest. So that way I don't just try and catch on my knees and hurt myself. I want to land on my chest where I got all my protection. Any other questions? Like I said, guys, I really appreciate you having me on, Coach. It means a lot, and I'm glad I could help out the European football coaching community. Seriously, it means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate y'all.
Yeah, Coach. Thank you very much. I think you did an awesome presentation with a very great combination between the why and the how. I really liked how you combined the why and the presentation of your drills and how you teach it. And I take a handful of notes. I think all the coaches could learn and pick up some great stuff from you, Coach. So thank you very much for presenting your knowledge to our coaches.
Absolutely. Like I said, thank you guys so much. And again, all my contacts on there. I'm pretty good about getting back to people. So whether it's, via email or through Twitter, just let me know and I'll be glad to reach out and talk to you guys.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all chiming in. Y'all have a good one now.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Bye, Coach.
All right. Bye-bye.